It was November of 2021 when hero games were added, and despite that I was playing the game by that time, I never really tried out the hero games feature. In case you don't know, if you try to join a game as hero, you get to wait till a game is available for you to join as hero. Heroes are not actual roles or anything, but heroes are replacements of people that flee from the game during night 1 or day 1. Fleeing is the modern term of suicide. This edition has a few sides to it, and that's why I want to review it in this video. First of all, I want to start with a positive aspect of hero games. If you've ever played one game of Wolvesville or Werewolf online in the past, you know too well that some people do not like their role, teammates or whatever and just leave very early. Since fun in Wolvesville games is reliant on balance and fairness for the most part, 3-2 or sometimes even one player fleeing is already ruining the remainder of the game. Of course, you can get XP, so if that is your sole goal, then it might make the game easier or more difficult. But if you like to play this game as a social deduction game, then it is simply unfun when someone flees. For the longest time, the developers had no answer apart from reporting and temporarily banning players that flee. Of course, this has to stay because nobody wants to leave those kind of players unpunished. But beyond the punishment, the remaining players do not benefit at all from a temporary ban system. That is where heroes come in. They will fill in the vacant spot of those who left. Since heroes get to see pretty much everything the original players saw, the heroes should be able to integrate easily, right? Well, the answer here really depends on when you join and what your role is. If you join in the beginning of the first night, you should be able to play as if you played since the beginning, no matter the role. If you join at the end of the first night though, it might already be more difficult. In one of the games I joined as hero, I was seer and had almost no time to process my role, let alone be able to check someone when only 1 second remained. That left me without information in the first day, and yeah, some people might try to benefit from that and start doubting you. Luckily that did not happen in that case, but it's totally possible that a way too obvious headhunter calls you out and you cannot convince the village that you had no time to check. And then we are speaking about the seer, which is not even the biggest problem. If you think about any evil role and you like to simulate a role, you have to act really quickly, which is too quickly in quick game and sandbox, including myself. Perhaps you join as Wolfseer and the player that preceded you did not check anyone's role yet, and then you join 3 seconds before the day starts and there is just no way you realize you need to check someone, and if you do, your teammates are definitely too late to switch votes. As solo killer, it's probably the worst, since you might be missing out on kills. Then if you join during the day, you should be fine as villager. But if you are werewolf, you are under constant pressure and you need to read back all chat, try to integrate and then subsequently decide to claim a role or not. Personally, I like to claim a role if it is possible, but if you have no night to think about that, you gotta claim immediately upon joining without knowing the context of the game. Perhaps you want to say you are Beast Hunter, well then you either claim it as soon as possible, which is something good Beast Hunters should do, but at the risk that the actual Beast Hunter already claimed or was already confirmed good. In one of my games I claimed RRV as a bad role as soon as I could, but I only found out later that both RRVs were confirmed. Somehow I managed to live for way too long, but in a lobby with high skills, this would definitely have killed me quickly. If I had joined earlier, I did not need to integrate. Instead, I could have shaped the game from the start and had way more time to think of backup plans. The worst case is when you join as evil role and you are already exposed in chat, but not literally by vigilante or pacifist. This is for a lot of people a reason to flee games. They give up. They are the weak people. Then you join the game to find out that you are about to get lynched and you have absolutely nothing to add anymore. That can not only be frustrating for some people, it also simply is a waste of time. So to sum that up, If you join a game as hero, you usually have a disadvantage from the start, as depending on your skill, you need some time to learn the context of the game you join. Another disadvantage, which might be the most important one for those who play in lower lobbies, is that you rarely get to play with new roles. Whenever a new role gets added, active and semi-active members want to see that role. Roles are the thing that can be subject to hype and can attract players to play sandbox mode in particular. Unfortunately, a lot of people only think of themselves and flee if they don't get the role they hoped for. You will rarely see someone flee when they get to play with a hyped role. To my own surprise, the roles I got were quite diverse still, varying from Witch and Seer to Wolf Seer and Headhunter, but there was never one role that I liked that much. There were some people I talked to that told me they often got evil roles when joining as a hero, so if you like to be an evil role and you don't mind the disadvantage of missing the start, then go for it. Personally, I'm more into new roles and roles like Jailer and Avenger too, roles that have an impact in the village. But if that's all to it, why the f do people join games as hero? Well, an advantage of hero games is that you get an XP bonus of 25 at the end of the game. This does not sound like much, but if you decide to make it a habit to only play hero games or play it regularly, it probably will pay off on the long term. I think this is a little neat incentive, but for me it is not enough. I would either increase the hero bonus, maybe even double it if the hero joins after the first minute of the game, so that the hero gets compensated for having a potential disadvantage. A more interesting solution I have is to add an exclusive outfit or even a badge for people who win a significant amount of hero games. Preferably with goals for different teams too. Think about 10 solo killer wins for a head, 10 voting role wins excluding Headhunter without target for a shirt, 50 werewolf wins for a background and 100 village wins for a foreground item. Perhaps a fifth item or a badge for getting 1000 wins as a hero in any team. In that way you can encourage players, especially those who care about cosmetics and whatnot, to play hero games and try their best to win. An alternative prize could be a level 1 talisman for free, maybe even at own choice. But the talisman should only be given if the hero manages to win the game, of course. This would also be hard to farm, although with Wolvesville farmer community, you never know. To conclude, the addition of hero games is a win for Wolvesville. Even if the system cannot be perfect, the rewards for playing hero games should be higher. 25 XP is not a significant amount of XP, and will you really sacrifice the way of playing the game to get a 25 XP bonus extra per game? It is evident that a lot of players care about XP, but they have farms for that so far I'm aware. Adding more interesting rewards like talismans of choice or outfit parts upon winning a hero game is bound to make hero games as a feature more attractive. Although I gotta admit, the developers have already done an amazing job, considering the fact that it's harder to join a game as hero than to get a game with players that bail out and have them not being replaced by a hero. That indicates that the community likes it enough. Personally, I just don't consider the reward worth that extra joy of having the ability to start in your game and have the chance to play with new roles. What is your take on hero games? Please feel free to share in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. I currently upload Wolvesville every week or two, so you don't want to miss out on that. On top of that, you can help me reach the goal of 4K subscribers. For now though, I will see you later and don't be a traitor. Goodbye.